You know how every horror villain is literally impossible to beat? Like, no matter what you do, they always come back with vengeance. You could chop them up, burn their house down, drown them, and they'll still be back at your door like, hey, miss me? Hell, I just made a video about the horror movies we'd never survive. The villains have super strength, teleportation, immortality. How is it that I can run 10 miles away from Michael Myers only for him to meet me around the corner? Hello?
Hello?
He does nothing but hottie walk and still manages to meet up with his victims wherever they are. Did he take an Uber? Imagine if we took their power away and they became regular people. Jason Voorhees with asthma, Leatherface with a 9 to 5. Who do you think would be the easiest to beat? We're starting off strong with Pennywise. I think he'd put up a good fight depending on the victims. In his movies, he's a supernatural, all-you-can-eat, shape-shifting clown who got children by making them hallucinate and fed off their fears. But as a human, he's just some unemployed dude in clown makeup living in the sewer. He doesn't have the ability to levitate and sense fear. He has to do his dirty work the hard way. By lying, loitering, and holding AirPods hostage.
Time to float.
His master plan would have to be lurking around schools, playgrounds, and houses when nobody's around. Which would also be his first mistake because people don't play around when it comes to child predators. Let's say he successfully lures a child into the sewer. He doesn't use knives or guns. His only weapon is his teeth. He'd have to chomp down on the child, attracting attention to himself because the screaming alone would alert the public. A child screaming in a quiet suburban area is equivalent to a Karen seeing a person of color. It'd be all over the internet. TikTok detectives, Facebook groups, Reddit threads. Twitter would swarm the topic. Can I get in trouble for saying Twitter? X would swarm the topic. I can already picture the drama. Pennywise would have to target little kids because teens wouldn't go for that. And his success rate with adults would be low, in my opinion. He'd have to pop up where people are taking shortcuts and sneak up on you unguarded, or attempt to lure you when you drop your stuff in the storm drains. And I can guarantee you, no teen would sit there and allow a stranger to hold their phone hostage. They don't even let their teachers do that. If a strange man is trying to lure you into a sewer in order to get your items back, most people would run and leave or alert someone to call the police. Granted, some people are dumb and would go searching for this mysterious clown that lives in the sewer. But if you're searching for him, you would likely be in a group of friends with weapons to defend yourself and be prepared to jump him. When I picture those people who want to find him, I think of those guys in the Catch a Predator videos. They find Pennywise in the sewers and smack him around. He's here to meet a 14-year-old boy.
He's here to meet a 13-year-old boy.
The 21st century isn't ideal for your average sewer squatter. Now that he doesn't have the power to target specific groups of people, adults would be able to run into him as well. Runners might see him on a shortcut, or underground ravers may come across him. People would recognize him from the internet and nope out of there, or stay and fight if they brought the right protection. And since his only defense is human teeth, it'd be easier to fight him off because even though our teeth are strong, I'd rather take my chances of a man with no weapon over a man with a machete. If he were to get a chomp in you, your biggest worry would probably be an infection, not instant dissolution. He'd be arrested easily and bullied online for his efforts. The differences between children and teens is that if he was solely targeting elementary kids, it might take a few weeks or so to catch him if he switches up his routine and is careful about street cameras. Kids are smaller and more trusting, so they make easy targets. But if he was targeting teens, I think he'd be caught pretty fast. Everyone would be recording their encounters and likely using a buddy system. Not to mention, most people are sharing the location with family and friends now, and cell phone towers can track where people went missing, making it easier to find the perpetrator. There's a reason we don't have any active serial killers in this day and age. You will be caught. I rate Pennywise an instant knockout on the ranking scale. Now, someone who would give you a run for your time? Jason Voorhees. Stalking young adults is basically his hobby. He kills anyone he sees having fun. If you're laughing, swimming, or just looking to hook up, you're the first on his list.
You laughing, girl?
And don't let him catch you alone because you're done for. Jason's the ultimate male Karen. Sees people making memories and decides it's time to file a complaint. With a machete. Sure, he's not immortal anymore and doesn't have a theme song and fog coming out when he approaches, but he's still a giant man in a musty jacket lurking in the bushes. Can you imagine hanging out with your friends at a campfire and you look over and see some creep staring at you with a fucking hockey mask on? Honestly, the first time anyone sees him should be when the whole camp goes on lockdown. No more swimming, no more smoking, no more hooking up. Let's all meet in the cafeteria. Forget the roasting marshmallows, barricade the doors, call the police. I can never understand how people in these movies just casually walk around, especially alone, while they know an active is on the loose. Oh my god, my friend just got killed. Why don't we split up and use this flashlight as a weapon? Hello?
Hello.
You hear a scream in the woods and decide it's time to investigate. Trip over, wrap it up. Realistically, if Jason were human, no super strength, no magical resurrection powers, he'd maybe get like 4 kills in before being caught. His first victims would probably be like using the restroom or out in the lake. But after the camp notices that their friends are missing and they heard screaming, it's time to lock in. This is of course assuming that the hypothetical campers are smart. Without his supervillain powers, I genuinely think the camp would have a fighting chance. I doubt he'd outrun everyone, especially with that stuffy mask he wears all night. Everyone watching this video survived COVID. We know how hot it gets in there, especially during the summer, let alone running. You're crazy. All they'd have to do is quarantine, call the police, or even better, lure him to an open space and jump him. Jumping is the only valid solution in all of these scenarios I have. Come at him from all sides and whoop his ass. All he has is a machete on him, so if you take that away, you gain a huge advantage. Jason lives on a lake, so his shack is near the campsite. If you take all your friends with you and not split up, clear the place out and grab anything useful, you may even find where he's been hiding. In the event that he kills someone in their sleep, there's up to 6 people in a cabin at most campsites, so Jason would be outnumbered. If someone is screaming and you see a man killing your friend, you'd either run out the room or try to attack the killer.
Don't let the killer get you.
He's a big man, so there's no way one person can fight him off by themselves, so big groups are your savior in this situation. Though it's unlikely he'd kill someone peacefully sleeping because he mainly goes after people having fun.
You laughing, girl?
It's a possibility. The camp is filled with people, so while one group is off searching for Jason or fighting him off, the other one could be quarantined and calling the police. Or better yet, setting out flares for the rescue team to come find them. The main problem is that you're stuck at the camp until help arrives. If Jason's been planning a full-blown massacre, he's definitely popping everyone's tires and cutting off the exits. I rank Jason a hard to beat on the scale because even if you make it out alive, fighting him would be a lot of work. Lastly, Kayako Saiki is the easiest antagonist to beat without any powers. In the Grudge movie, she's unbeatable with 0 weaknesses. If you moved into her house, it's over for you. I'm sorry. She can possess you and obviously make you hallucinate. I feel like that's a supervillain starter pack at this point. She's a vengeful ghost who has an insatiable hunger for killing people. A ghost coming after you is one of my biggest fears because you can't even tell anyone about it. No one is going to believe that you're being hunted and haunted down by something they can't see or prove that it's happening. Luckily, as a normie, she's just a pale woman trespassing your house. A pale woman trespassing my house? People go through that all the time. The way I envision Kayako is that person living in your attic that you can never catch unless you plan your attack. Like, you wouldn't notice she was living there until you started noticing your food going missing, your stuff moving around, or your utility bills are too high. And then when you finally put a camera up, you see her crawling out of the fucking roof and stealing your snacks, sitting on your couch while you're at work. I'm irritated just thinking about it. She doesn't walk. Her only way of moving is crawling. Granted, that would freak most people out. She's not much of a threat considering she's likely 100 pounds. The main dangers you'd face with her being in your house is if she tried to kill you in your sleep, or if you're off guard in a vulnerable situation like in the shower or something, before you know she's there. Keyword on the before, because if you knew she was there, you would never be off guard. If you live alone, Kayako is the best case scenario because anyone can fight her off. She has no weapons. Knock her out with a table lamp, put her in a chokehold, or dead ass, jump on her. The girl's on the ground, so that gives you the upper hand. Her crawl walk is disturbing, sure, but it's slow and visible. You get time to react, call for help, or secure the exit. If she's crawling up your bed doing that croaky noise, I'm sure your first instinct would be to kick her upside the head. Now, if you had roommates, she's done for. The moment someone screams, everyone's coming in the room with whatever they can find. And as I've said multiple times, jump her. Maybe not violently to the point of death or bludgeoning. I don't think that's a word. Don't go too hard because then you might be the one ending up in jail. You and your roomies can work together and put her down or something. The cops will handle her easily. Then you can clean out your attic, change the locks, or just move out, because I doubt she'd get much jail time after that. She'll likely just go to someone else's house and start doing her friggin' bullshit there. In The Grudge, there was a curse that followed people into their own homes. So keeping that same storyline, let's just say she'd come back to your house and get the job done. Moving out of the city is your best option. I rate Kayako an instant knockout because Now, come on. All right, guys, I am calling it here. I wanted to do Michael Myers and Ghostface, but they aren't that much of a threat in my opinion. Michael maybe because he's also a tall buff dude like Jason, but he's been stomped out by his town before, and he'd be easy to spot in the streets because of social media outlets. Without his immortality, he would have been dead. Shit, that goes for Jason too. He's just not that skilled of a serial killer. Realistically, of course, he'd still have multiple kills before getting caught, and he'd be scary to encounter. But once everybody knows who he is and what to look out for, the police would be on him. Of course, we'd have idiot copycats, but with the serial killer on the loose, I don't think the police would take the tomfoolery. You're all going to jail. If I gave Michael his own segment, I would rank him put up a good fight. He's not the easiest target, but he's also not impossible. Now, Ghostface?
This guy stinks!
Just two bored teens who like to play on people's phones.
What's your favorite scary movie?
The downside is that there's two of them. So if one of them is dead or in police custody, the other one will still be following out the original plans. They'd be caught easily though, because they wouldn't have the ability to disappear or clean stuff up as quickly, and they'd likely be leaving a trail of DNA behind. Ghostface is obviously going on the instant knockout ranking. Duh. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making it. So sad my spooky series is coming to an end. It is my favorite time of the year. Comment any horror villains you think I should have added and where you would rank them. Happy Halloween! Bye!